Hello everyone, good day, especially to our Introduction to Criminology 1 instructor, Ma'am Charlene Barbarona. Good day, ma'am. First of all, let me introduce myself first. I am Criminology student Barrete Kyrill Kris from Baywahan Sibilia, Bohol. And I am here to do my task, which is to report my topic in our group, which is about victimology. So, good morning again. Before we will start the discussion, let us define the victimology first. Victimology is the branch of criminology that scientifically studies the relationship between an injured party and an offender by examining the causes and the nature of the consequent suffering. The scientific study of crime victims, including the study of the relationship between victim and offender and of the consequences and effects of being victimized. So, this is my topic. My topic is about the other classifications and typologies. So, number 1, the primary victimization. It involves an individual victim who is directly assaulted and injured in a face-to-face offense, who is threatened and has property stolen or damaged. So, it is a person who dies or is injured as a direct result of the act being committed against the person. And the second is secondary victimization. It is generally refers to commercial establishments such as department stores, railroads, theaters, chain stores, churches, and the like. The victim is impersonal, commercial, and collective, but not so diffuse as to include the community at large. It is now referred to crime victims' traumatic experiences with the criminal justice systems and to the humiliation and suffering that the victim goes through a witness or as a justice helper. So the refusal recognize their experiences as criminal victimization. So the differences between the primary and the secondary victimization is that primary victimization is personalized and individual victimization, especially select someone to target, while the secondary victimization is impersonal targets of the offender. Secondary victimization also is a person who is present at the scene of an act of violence and who is injured as a direct result of witnessing the act. So the third is the tertiary victimization. It excludes both primary and secondary types and refers to a very diffusive victimization that extends to the community at large and includes offenses against the public order, social harmony, or administration of government. Tertiary victims is the people who were not involved in the crime or familiar with the victim, but whose lives undergo changes as a result. So the typical examples are the regulatory offenses and violations of city ordinances. So the number 4 is mutual victimization. It excludes all of the above categories and refers to those cases in which the participants mutually consent to engage in acts that are violations and the law. Example of these are fornication, adultery, or statutory rape. It also refers to when offenders became the victims, as when two people engage in a criminal activity and then the one becomes the victim and the other. The fifth and the last is no victimization. It is used as a category of 4 offenses that cannot be committed by an adult and which are not commonly referred to as juvenile status offenses, such as running away from home, truancy from school, and being declared incorrigible. It is also an act that is illegal but has no direct victim. For example, trespassing onto private property does not harm another person, as long as the person who is trespassing does not intentionally cause harm to someone on the property. So let's just summarize this topic, guys. Some other types of victimization, since it is understandable, because we are running out of time also, so that we need to summarize it. Number 1, corporate victimization, or also known as white collar victimization. Number 2, the collective victimization. Number 3, institutional victimization. And number 4, the multiple victimization or a series victimization. It has two subtypes of the multiple victimization. One, the repeated victimization, and number 2, the cross-crime victimization. So number 5, the random victimization. Number 6, the instantaneous victimization and the continuing victimization. There are lots of examples here. And the last is the direct and indirect victimization. So conclusion. Victims are generally in favor and restorative justice practices provided participation is fully voluntary. Victims are like the fact that restorative justice programs recognize their interest in the case. Restorative justice programs provide victims with notification of the developments in their case and an opportunity to as restitution, while the traditional criminal justice systems should offer victims these same services. It is often within the context of restorative justice programs that these services are regularly offered. Hogan and Brynen, 2000. Sherman et al. 1998. Victims also, like the idea of the offenders, are held accountable for their actions. So the reference is the book of Introduction to Criminology and Psychology of Crime by Sally S. Kalalang, M.S. Krim.